Welcome, everybody, to another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, and the man on the FBI's most wanted list for stealing a ridiculous number of thimbles. It is Stephen Robles. How you doing, Thimble Man?
I'm doing well. Listen, that's my supervillain name. I sew a lot. I sew
Thimbleman?
heroes. Yeah, with you need the thimble. You don't have a thimble. I mean, you're just poking yourself all over. You don't want to be doing that. Don't want to be doing that. Do you sew? Are you a sewer? Can you sew things together?
I can sew things together. Like I have fixed my clothes. I have like hem clothes. I don't have like a sewing machine or anything. I also own dogs, so there is if you own dogs, you kind of need to know somewhat how to sew if you don't want to continue to buy toys. So it comes into play.
Good
Yeah.
point. Okay, very
So
good.
I'm not I don't know anything official, but I can get by.
No. Yeah, I could patch holes. That's the extent of my skills. But anyway, this is now Sewing Insider. Sewing Kit Insider. Oh, it's just perfect. Just roll right in there. We have a
SKI, man.
SKI. These Soketeers. We have a ton of news today, a bunch of HomeKit stuff. I have a big project question, and I'm still trying to update my Apple TV as we speak because we got a tip from someone, and then we'll see if it actually works. 1 5-star review shout out, Erez Alan from Israel. International listener, thanks for that. And now news. There's an amazing phenomenon, Andrew, that the moment we press stop on our recording, when we record, news breaks. It's just clockwork. It's amazing. I don't know how it happens. So this piece of news is a little late. This is really like 2 weeks ago news almost, about a week and a half. But anyway, there was a leak in the FCC filings for a new Eve device, and it is a Eve AirPlay receiver. This is much like the Sonos amp, or I know like Belkin has their AirPlay receiver. There's like the WeM Pro. It's like that. Basically, it has analog and digital audio outputs, so you can connect some bookshelf speakers. It also has an Ethernet port if you want to hardwire it. And then you can add it to HomeKit. There's a little code on the bottom, it seems like. And then you can have some AirPlay speakers through this Eve receiver. So no details on like pricing or availability, but it seems to be coming out. That's cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is if this is a render that somebody did, but in the piece that I wrote, like we have like an image at least of this device, but it's got like aluminum sides, like the chamfered edge along the top, and then like the glossy black top surface, so like matches along with all of Eve's other products that are out there. Right. If that's what it looks looks very sleek. And we have on the back, we've got like a DC 5-volt input, which I'm already a little disappointed that this thing is running over like a DC barrel connector. They're not my favorite. I would have preferred like Exactly. Like, it's not like we need to move this thing. It's going to be plugged in once. But every time there's like a DC barrel connector, I feel like you end up with like a chonky plug that has to go into your wall. And then it's cumbersome and blocks ports, and I don't like that. So I don't know if that's what we're going to get. Maybe we'll get a nice little sleek one, but we'll find out. Then, like you said, there's Ethernet to hardwire this. We've got digital outputs for coaxial and optical, and then your standard analog left-right outputs. So decent little setup here. It looks kind of like the size of like a thinner Apple TV. And AirPlay's 2 stuff works in HomeKit, adds to the Home app. Should be nice and easy. You want to play a game, Steven? Let's guess what the price point is going to be on this thing.
See, I mean, Sonos one is like $3,000. You can get the WeM Pro, I think, for like $150. I think this is going to be $129. I'm going to say $129. That's what I think. What do you think?
Man, I don't know. For some reason, something in my gut is saying $99, just on the nose. But I also feel like it could go more. Like, Eve stuff is always like the premium end. I could see this going up to $139 maybe, but maybe I'm just hopeful that's going to sit at the $99 price point. But I love things like this. Like, we need more of these kinds of things, and it makes me just like want to pull out more of my old school analog speakers and amps and stuff. Yeah. But I also don't want to wire a whole bunch of them. So it's just a constant struggle.
Now, there was a picture on there if you're watching at youtube.com/HomeKitInsider, and of course it'll be the chapter art as well. And we'll see. All right, let's move on. We got a ton of news here. Ikea, this is another FCC leak. All these FCC filings are revealing new products. This hasn't been announced by Ikea just yet, but it looks like there's going to be some Ikea contact sensors, possibly affordable contact sensors, but it's also going to be requiring a hub. So, if you already have the IKEA hub, then maybe these would be beneficial to you. But if not, you would have to get the whole hub and stuff, which I don't
I
have.
believe
Should I get the IKEA hub? Oh.
I don't know. I hear that it has gotten better, and I like their stuff is affordable. But I had so many issues like with their light bulbs and that pairing process that it's kind of turned me off a little bit. But they've added quite a few things. Now we have new contact sensors that are coming. There's also a new motion sensor coming. I don't know if it'll replace the existing IKEA sensor, but it's going to be just a different version of one. But yeah, so 2 new sensors coming out of IKEA that'll work with the Digiara hub.
Dirihuera.
Yeah, there we go. It'll work with that guy, I believe.
Hold on, wait. Let me see if I can get the sound here. I had it saved in our soundboard. Let's see.
Dirigera.
Oh, wait, let me try again. Hold on.
Dirigera.
There it is. Dirihuera.
Perfect.
That's I think that was Zorro. No, that was a good friend, our listener. I believe Christopher sent us that audio. So let me do it one more time. Ready?
Dirigera.
That's good. It's very nice.
Stephen, what I've been debating about, and I got to find ones that are going to work. I want to put a contact sensor on my mailbox because half of them we never know when it arrives. But like I'm often like waiting for things, especially like on a work day, and I want to get into photography or testing or something. And depending on who our driver is that day, there can be a large, we could get mail at 10 a.m. We could get it at 3 in the afternoon, and so. I want to put a contact sensor in my mailbox, and I am not sure what will reach. Like if a Bluetooth one is it going to be too far? Is the brick of our house going to prohibit this? Or is Thread the way to go? I don't know. So I'm going to pick up, I think, a few more contact sensors and just stick them in the mailbox and just see. It's a plastic mailbox too, so it's not like it's a metal one. So I'm going to put them out there, see if they reach, and see if we can use that, because then I can just get an alert when the mailbox is opened, and we'll be able to know to get the mail. Or we live in a flipping wind tunnel, so like a truck will drive by and our mailbox just pops right open. So maybe I'll just get a bunch of errant notifications because people drive by it really fast.
That's it. I'm curious. I think you should Eve contact sensor is Thread, and so you could try theirs, and you could
But
put
I
a
have the Eve one on my
HomePod.
window already.
Well, maybe you get another one. It's a kind of an expensive contact sensor, but you can also put a HomePod Mini right there in the window to try and get the best
Well, we have. So my wife's office is road adjacent, right? And she has a HomePod Mini in her office. So there's one there. Our house runs like parallel with the road. So we also have our living room, and there's like say 10 feet between our latest 4K Apple TV with Thread to the window before the road. So like that's there, and then I've got another HomePod Mini in the kitchen, which is a little bit further away, but it's still like parallel with the road. So theoretically, something's got to be able to touch that. But we'll see.
It should. Okay. Well, yeah, it'd be an interesting experiment. My mailbox is very far away from the house, and I also have like cinder block walls, so I don't know how that would work. But
yeah, ours are definitely all brick. I believe the original house was moved here, like on a truck. They moved it here. Then they added on to the house, and it was completely gutted down to the brick and like rebuilt. So it's been through some stuff.
That's wild. Yeah, imagine so. All right, let's keep going on. TP-Link, they have they announced new switches, Matter switches. There is both a switch and a dimmer from TP-Link. These are Matter-enabled over Wi-Fi. These are not Thread, and they're also not three-way in any way. So this is just plain old switch, plain old dimmer, but because they're Matter-enabled, you could add these to your Apple Home and use these as switches. I know for me, I'm trying to go all Thread if I'm going to do something nowadays. And you do have some more options now, but, you go, TP-Link.
I mean, I am not all about everything Thread. I love Thread. I think it's great, but I think Wi-Fi has just as many benefits and is just as reliable. If it's in my home, I have no problem using Wi-Fi. And in some ways, I prefer it still, especially if it's something that is plugged in. I think when you have constant power, I think you have benefits of using Wi-Fi over Thread. But It depends on what the devices are. Especially in the outskirts of the home, Thread makes more sense. We're outside my home, my mailbox,
Right.
Thread, but inside the home, I still think Wi-Fi. I mean, you get more data and everything over Wi-Fi, and I think you can end up with.
So Nanoleaf's 4D screen mirroring kit, and they also announced some black hexagons that are up for pre-order. Now, Nanoleaf screen mirroring kit, this is like the, Hue sync box where you put a light strip behind the TV. The sync box would do the lights. Well, Nanoleaf has this like camera deal. So this little camera hangs above your TV, looks at the screen, and then matches the LED light behind the TV via that camera. And so they have that, and then they also announced these black hexagons, which do look pretty slick. But have you had any experience with these kind of like camera-based, like syncing things? I'm wary.
I mean, I haven't like personally like used them in my house, but I got to play with this out at CES, and it was really cool. They had like a video playing on the screen, and the lights are just changing behind it in near real time, and it seemed really smooth. And I mean, these things are also pretty affordable comparatively. I mean, we're looking at the screen mirror kit.
It's $100.
What? So
for the
$100
for the screen mirror,
inch
camera, and the 65-inch light strip. So that is much less expensive than the Philips Hue sync box, which is like $250 on its own, plus the light strip, which is like another 100 something. So yeah.
And you don't have to worry about dealing with like any pass-through stuff, multiple inputs, switching inputs, like any of that stuff, because whatever is on your screen is compatible. So 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision, 120 frames per second, like whatever it is that you're watching is going to be compatible, which I think is a big benefit. Or if you're using it on your computer, you're gaming, anything like that, and you want to be able to use it, it also works. If it's a screen, it's going to work.
It's a screen, it's going to work. And then the black hexagons as well, up for pre-order, you can get them for $220 for the 9-panel smarter kit or starter kit, and then the 3-pack expansion costs $70. And that's what these black hexagons look like right here if you're watching on YouTube. And there you go.
I like the black hexagons a lot, to be honest. Like,
they look good.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, they look good.
They look really good.
Yeah.
And these are better. Sorry, I know we got to keep chugging along, but I like these a lot better than. So they have the lines, if we remember those, and they came out with the blackout covers for them. So the lines are indirect lighting. They have like little spacers. The lights face the wall, and they look super cool. I love the lines, but they're white, and they came out with like a blackout kit that had like snap-on covers for like the corners, like the vertices and the spacers, and then they had the black that would cover the bars. But the sides of the spacers were still white. So like if you looked at it dead on and you couldn't see the sides, it was all black and it looked so nice. But then you go to any other angle and you see just the white outlines or the white sides of the corner vertice spacer pieces, and it like ruins the effect. These look very nice with just all black around the edges. And honestly, this makes more sense to me for a lot of people who use the Nanoleaf stuff for like streaming and everything. They're always in like low lit rooms, and having the black just feels like it's going to make them blend in so much more. I think these are going to be really popular. Those are really neat looking.
They do look very cool. They look cool. They would look cool on like a wall, like in a YouTuber setup. Just put them on back there. So. All right, well, we got some other news, and I have a project I need to ask Andrew about. But we have one sponsor for today. We want to thank them, our friends at Hello Fresh. They didn't ask me to do it like that. It just felt right.
I'm pretty sure they actually asked you to not do it like that. Like it was specific.
Oh,
don't do it like that.
Oh, it's at the bottom. It says don't yodel our name. Shoot, it's in the checklist.
Don't do it, Steven. Like it was a very specific call out to you. It wasn't a general anti-yodeling rule, just a Steven anti-yodeling rule.
Just me. Your yodeling is not right. Oh.
No,
shoot,
not on
well,
brand.
Listen, I won't. Let me try it again. Hello Fresh, which is America's #1 meal kit. No yodeling this time, all right? And listen, you guys know HelloFresh. You go on their website and you choose some of their amazing recipes, and then they send you a box that just shows up at your door with all the ingredients you need to make those incredible meals. Has beautifully designed meal cards, gives you the step-by-step instructions, gives you just the right portions for all of your meals, and then you can It's delicious. You have a delicious meal. You can have it for 2 or 4 people, get multiple meals, and then like save some for leftovers the next day. And it is amazing. And so if you're looking to eat well this summer, HelloFresh's menu features calorie smart and protein smart lunch and dinner options, plus new vegan dinners to choose from. HelloFresh makes it easy to reach your food goals and flavorful recipes that leave you feeling satisfied. You've tried HelloFresh before, right?
Yeah, I tried HelloFresh, especially like really early on and when they started, and now I'm just so excited how many things that they've added to their offering. So now you don't have to just get like a meal for 2 or a meal for 4. You have all these extras that you can add on there to give you so much more out of these. And I love, I know you mentioned that they give everything pre-portioned. You know, I don't got to buy a whole thing of chicken stock because I only need 2 tablespoons of it. Cool. They got, a little condensed chicken stock in there. You drop it in, boom, ready to go. I don't got to buy a tub of creme fraiche for $6. I can get the, quarter cup I need for my pasta, like right there, ready to go. I love it. Like if you're trying different recipes and you like to cook, it can save you money on all of this stuff.
Exactly. My daughter was like, we actually make these meals with our kids. They enjoy like cooking with us. My daughter's like, when can we get another box? And by box, she means a HelloFresh box, America's #1 meal kit.
She's like those dogs on the show for Chewy that see it and gets excited. She sees the HelloFresh box and gets all excited.
Oh, exactly. That's exactly right. And listen, when you need dinner fast, don't call for delivery. If you've tried to add a meal delivery recently, I mean, it's basically $1,000. You got the delivery fee, the convenience fee. You got the guy putting it on your door fee, the knocking fee. If you're going to ring your doorbell,
there's an additional fee if you don't want them to knock, because that's like a convenience thing.
Exactly. Double fee, right? Exactly. It's the silence convenience. And so, listen, the HelloFresh fast and fresh recipes are ready in just 15 minutes or less. You just make it out of the box. That's faster than delivery is going to get to you anyway. Plus, HelloFresh is 25% cheaper than takeout. I think right now it's about 125% cheaper after all the fees, as you know. So here's what you do. Go to HelloFresh.com/HomeKit5050. Use the promo code HomeKit5050 for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/HomeKit50. Use the promo code HomeKit50 for 50% off plus free shipping. That link is also in the show notes. You can just click it there. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh. That wasn't a yodel. That was something different.
That was like a cave yell.
Just relax. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, more news. Switchbot, which I was just thinking, I was going to recommend you should get a Switchbot finger for your mailbox. Just see if it can open and close your mailbox.
I know. I want it to automatically close. Like they open it up and the finger just nope. They open it up.
Yeah,
nope.
they go to put the mail in up. Nope. But they have a new Switchbot Curtain, and this is the device that actually sits on the curtain rod or other thing and actually slides across the rod and pushes the curtain away. Well, Curtain 3 is scheduled to go live August 10th. Seems like you had some info on this, Andrew. What can you tell us about the Switchbot Curtain 3?
Yeah, so this thing has Matter support, open close curtain, up to 35 pounds of pushing. It's got quiet drift, so it can move 5 millimeters per second. Look at that thing go. Yeah, and there's even like a solar panel. So if you have this by your window, you can put it, a solar panel in there. Now, Steven, tell me if I'm crazy, okay? Tell me if I'm crazy, because I had this idea when this PR came in. So one of our struggles sometimes with our robotic vacuums that we test copious numbers of. Faithers has a curtain in our guest bathroom that's got little fringes, little fingers at the bottom, right? And, those vacuums, they love to gobble them. They gobble up those tassels all the time. So, before we go, I always got to open the curtain all the way, and it tucks back, basically kind of near the toilet where the robot can't go. And then it's free to mop and vacuum and stuff in our bathroom. So my brain was connecting the pieces, and I thought I could create a scene whenever I go to clean the bathroom. It automatically opens the shower curtain. So is this ridiculous, Steven,
Andrew,
to buy a $90 curtain motor to automatically open our shower curtain?
Andrew, you are living in 3023. You're living in the future. That is a genius move. My only concern would be wetness. Depending on, I guess you
I
can
would put it on the
outside
outside
if you
for
don't care
sure.
if
I mean, you
it's-
got a humidity thing, but
Yeah,
if
put it on the
you're
outside.
an adult, you should at least pretend to turn on the fan when you're in the shower. So,
Of course, turn on the fan. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's not a problem, frankly, I think this is genius. I mean, anything that you have to do over and over again that's just slightly annoying, you try to automate it. That's the bottom line. If you learn anything from listening to HomeKit Insider, Apple Insider, automate the things that are like those annoying things. I'm trying to have a Rube Goldberg machine of Switchbot fingers to get my like D-Bot water tank to my utility sink filled with water and then back, but I've not succeeded at doing that just yet. But I think this is genius. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Do it.
well, that may be maybe
it.
my next project. Maybe it.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. All right. Well, now tvOS 17. This is not new news. This is continuing the saga of me trying to update my Apple TV. So, at New Home Tech on YouTube actually gave us a tip saying go to 16.6 beta before trying to update to the tvOS 17 beta, and then we'll update to 17. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my my Apple TV right here. Now, if you could tell our listeners, Andrew, what is the tvOS
That says
right there? What
tvOS
does it say?
16.6. And if I'm not mistaken, you started
That's
the
right.
16.6 update right before we started the podcast. So I think you're freshly updated to 16.6, and now you are going to turn on beta updates. They have the new chooser, so you can choose if you want to get like the 16
Right.
betas or the 17 developer betas. You have chosen the tvOS 17 beta, and you are starting this. It's going to do it, maybe. It's going to try.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I've done this 3 times already as we've been recording, and it has
Oh
not
my
updated to
gosh.
17. So this is maybe third time's a charm, maybe. We're going to see it, but if Andrew saw me do it, I did everything I was supposed to. The stupid Apple TV is just not doing it. So, anyway, I also wanted to share a weird thing because I don't know if this was happening before I even updated to the beta. My Apple TV remote kept like disconnecting from this Apple TV, and it's like the newer Siri remote, not the newest one. It's the Lightning one, but I kept doing it, and so I had to actually reset the Apple TV remote, which I didn't even know was a thing. And so, just for our listeners, if you ever have issues connecting your Apple TV remote, I'll put a link to this Apple support article in the show notes. But depending on your Siri remote, there's like different like button combinations where you can actually restart the Apple TV remote if you have the newest one by holding the TV button and the volume down. You hold it for 5 seconds, you wait 5 or 10 seconds, it actually restarts the remote, and it actually reconnected it to this Apple TV. So for whatever reason, I needed to restart the remote. And if you ever need to repair the remote, like not repair as in fix, like re-pair, because whatever got disconnected, there's actually a button combination for that. It's the back button and volume up, or the menu button on older TV remotes and volume up. And so those are the hidden, like, little button combinations for your Apple TV remotes.
Yeah,
In case you're
the
Just in case.
constantly disconnecting thing has been an issue for a long time with the latest generation Apple TV. I thought it was fixed in one of the more recent updates, but it was a big thing. I had complained about it on Twitter multiple times. Pretty sure Jim Dalrymple had been complaining about it on his Apple TVs.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's been a mess, and I thought they had it fixed.
Pain in the
But yeah, I usually have to restart my Apple TV to get mine to work again. And currently on the 17, I have this fun thing where if you pause a show, you can't hit play to play again. You have to hit the center button
Oh, that's nice.
to start to resume playing, like the select button instead. Or
It's a feature.
if a screensaver comes up, the play won't do
feature.
anything, and I'll hit the back button first to bring it back to the screen, or pull up the scrub bar, and then it'll work. But it just doesn't work correctly. Yes, radars have been filed. Every time I always complain about something on Twitter, someone will comment, that's why it's a beta and you need to file a bug report with Apple. Yes. I love when people tell us not to install the betas. I'm like,
Well, I was having this
Yeah.
remote issue on 16.5.
No, it's been going on for it's been going on since the TV's launched.
This is not. Yeah.
For a lot of people, yeah.
Sheesh. I've never had this issue. My other Apple TVs are fine. This is actually a first generation 4K, I think. And so it's like one of my slightly older Apple TVs, but it's the only one having this issue.
See, I've only heard about it on the new
I
Apple
don't know what it is,
TVs.
but pain in the butt. No, my newest ones that have USB-C on the Apple TV remote, those are good. I have 2 of those, and those are all good. But yeah, for some reason, this one, I don't know. Maybe it's just tired. It's just tired of it. Just stop trying to update me to the beta. That's why it's just like meh. But anyway, was there an iOS 17 feature you wanted to mention?
Yeah, there was one little
17
nice update with the second beta, and that's that they've enabled the new AirDrop functionality. So I think I did a YouTube short on it. That was like a dedicated short on it, but I also did like the 17 beta update video. It looks very nice. Like you just bring your 2 phones together and like they touch. Well, they don't have to touch. They just get very close, and then there's like this ball of light that like glows on both of them, like half and half, and then like expands out, and then it like pops. Like you can like feel it pop as it like jumps over to your other phone, and then initiates that transfer. So whether it's a photo or a video link, using name drop to share your contact card, all of that. We still don't have the internet version, so I did another piece that was like all of the features in iOS 17 that won't be there for launch, and one of them is the new AirDrop over internet feature, which I'm very excited for, because like I'll transfer stuff to like my wife, like I'll have a video or something and I'll send it over to her, and I'm just sitting there waiting for it to transfer. Like you don't have to hold them like 2 feet from each other, but you gotta be like the same room, and it just takes forever for those to transfer, or even between my devices. If you have that, Steven, like you shoot a video on your phone, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to upload this to my computer, and then, no, it's like you got to pull out a cable and transfer that, because it's going to take so long over AirDrop, and you can't even walk away. This will fix that. This will be really nice.
No. Yeah, and just if you connect it to a cable and you edit with Final Cut, you can import it from your phone directly into Final Cut using like the normal import window, and way faster than AirDrop, and then it's in your Final Cut library. Just do that. All right, update. I just want you to see this. You see it says preparing update. My Apple TV says it's preparing updates.
Do you know what I've been having problems with, Steven?
Want everybody to know.
I have not gotten the personal voice
What's that?
to work yet. I don't know if you've set this up on your own.
Oh, right.
I actually think this is something that everyone should set up on their device. You may not need it, but if there's ever a time where you would need it, it would be nice to have it. Basically, a version of your voice saved forever in your phone, and you read like 150 phrases, you walk through this, and then it has to prepare this voice. So it takes these samples and creates, a voice pattern or whatever, and then it's able to, dictate things that you say. But they say it takes like overnight to prepare the voice recording. It's been 2 nights, and I'm still at like 70%. So it's still not done.
Oh.
So it's clearly taking a little while to do, but I'm excited. I'm going to have a video of this hopefully by the time this comes out, the podcast, or hopefully, shortly thereafter. But I think it's a really cool feature, but it's just taken so long to do it. You have to have your phone charging and locked. And they specifically say charging, not on a charger, but it says like charging. So like I'm wondering like if I set my phone on there and I have like optimized charging on where it like goes to 80% and then sits there, maybe that won't do it. Or maybe if you have it,
because that would be a lot of hours overnight. It's not doing it, because it'll get to 80% pretty quick.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure, but I put my phone charger pretty early last night. I put it on there at like midnight and got up, at 7 this morning, and it was still, it's like, put your phone on a charger and lock it. I'm like, okay, day 3. But yeah.
Okay.
I think it's cool.
Huh. Well, I'll try and do it too. I'll try and set it up, as this week.
We'll be able to try a sample for those listening of real voice versus, digitized voice.
Yes.
When you do this, Steven, I want you to notice how many of these prompts just feel so agrarian.
Yeah.
It asks you to read a lot of things about farms. There's a lot of farms. Yeah.
Interesting.
Not so much Old
Okay.
MacDonald,
Like
but
Old MacDonald
no.
had a farm? Oh. Oh, okay. Huh. I was curious. E-I-E-I-O. I have a project question for you. I need your help with something, and maybe our listeners. I don't know if you've ever run into this, but I finally set up my Eve Flare 2nd Gen with Thread, and I'm actually using it outside on the patio because it provides a nice, like, ambiance in the evenings. It's pretty fun. And it has Thread. Connectivity's been great, quick to respond, all that. So I wanted to create a scene with the Eve Flare and my patio lights, and I have some Sonos speakers out there, a Sonos Move and a pair of 1SLs. And so I was like, I want to create an evening scene where it starts playing some like soft music, the lights dim, the Eve Flare turns on, and it's like, oh, moody patio, right? And so I created this scene, and everything works well. And for some reason, I didn't know in the past, I thought I tried this before and it didn't work, but actually adding Sonos speakers to play audio in a scene. I thought it had to be a HomePod, but for some reason it works now, at least for me. So I was able to add my Sonos Move and my pair of Sonos 1SLs into the scene, select audio. I was able to select a playlist, and they started playing when I ran the scene. One issue, though, is when you do a HomeKit scene and you're playing audio through speakers, you have the ability to either use the current volume or whatever volume was set on the speakers previously, or set a current volume. So you can actually choose like what volume you want this music to play when this scene runs. And because it was evening and it was moody, I dragged the slider very far to the left. I was like, let me just play this very softly, and then I'll adjust it after that. When I ran this scene and the music started playing, it was like blaring. Like it was loud. It startled me. Okay, that's how loud the music was. And so I was like, wow, maybe the Sonos speakers are just like super sensitive or whatever. And so I lowered that volume even more, like almost all the way to the left. Still, when I run the scene, very loud. And so as far as I can tell, I could be wrong, but it seems like setting a current volume, at least across multiple Sonos speakers, does not work in a HomeKit scene. It does not seem to actually adjust that start playing volume when you run the scene. Have you ever done anything like this, using Sonos speakers as a part of a scene, setting volume? What has been your experience?
Yeah, I've used AirPlay speakers in a scene without issue before, but I don't know. It sounds like it's a bug. It sounds like that should be doing it. I don't know if you can add like an additional like shortcut command to your thing where you will like a manual direction to set speaker volume and try doing that. Like it should just happen in that one actual HomeKit scene, but
Right.
that's what I guess I would try next.
Okay. I'll try a shortcut. And listeners out there, sew-keteers, you're sewing things, sew-keteers. Let me know if you've incorporated any Sonos speakers in a HomeKit scene with AirPlay, how the volume adjustment has gone. I'd be curious. And yeah, all right. One other thing, and then maybe we can get to a couple listener questions and tips. But this is a cool new product, maybe not HomeKit related, but something you would definitely use at home. This is the Pivo, Pivo.ai. Pivo.ai. Andrew, tell us, what is the Pivo?
Yeah, so the Pivo has been around for a little while, and you would mount your iPhone on top, and it would keep you in frame as you moved around on camera. So, kind of smart home related, but the new one is the Pivo Max. And this is what I'm really excited about because there's the Pivo Max allows you to not just use your iPhone, but you can use your actual camera. So for any photographers out there or videographers, you can set this up. You attach your camera to the top of it with like a tripod mount, and then you connect your iPhone on top of your camera. Then your camera monitors you and then directs the Pivo to move to keep you in frame. So it basically takes your Nikon, your Sony, and turns it into a smart camera that's able to follow you around.
Amazing.
And I think that is so cool.
That's pretty cool. This is, there it is. This is an image, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. There's the Pivo with the iPhone on top, and it would follow you. And then here you go. You can also, boom, look at that. Mirrorless on the Pivo, iPhone on the mirrorless, and you're good to go. You got Pivo's all the way down. So there you go.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is, so they're doing this on their own. So with iOS 17, Apple's added a new API called DocKit. And Apple says your app can automatically track subjects in live video across a 360-degree field of view, take direct control of the stand to customize framing, directly control the motors, and provide your own inference model for tracking other subjects. So basically, they've taken what these third parties are doing, Pivo, Wemo, not Wemo, Belkin, and some of the others, and built them into iOS as a native API. So I feel like we're going to see a lot of others starting to create docs like this for a variety of different purposes. But I think this is super cool. I want to try it out. I'm shooting in a studio, but my camera's always fixed. It's like, might be kind of fun. Mount my iPhone on there, attach it to my tripod, same as I do, and I can move around more freely, and the camera would automatically be moving with me, which maybe would make the videos feel more dynamic, or we'd get seasick. I don't know, but I kind of want to try it. So I don't know. Yeah. I thought this was really cool, really neat kind of piece of smart home tech for photographers, videographers, creators, stuff like that, even if it isn't specifically HomeKit.
It does. It looks pretty cool. All right, let's get to two listener, one tip and one question. First one is from Little Blue Dinosaur on Twitter. I was asking about clearing my up next play, like the list on my Apple TV, so I didn't see all these like random shows. And he pointed out that you can go on your Apple TV to the Settings app, go to Apps, TV, and then Clear Play History, and it will get rid of everything. Now, I'm sure that will clear the up next queue, but it seems like it might also clear my watch history, which I don't know if I'm keen to do that. You know, I do want it to know and keep track of episodes I've watched, movies I've watched, things like that. So I'm glad this is an option. Good tip from Little Blue Dinosaur. I don't know if I'm going to do this just yet, but we'll see. But there you go.
I know. I would wonder if it would erase, the episodes that you watch. Like you jump into, you go back to Succession or something and you say, okay, I'm on episode 4 of season 3, and you know exactly where you need to pick up on. But if it cleared your entire play history, if all that would be gone, that would be catastrophic for me. It would be such a terrible thing to never know, all of my show, I watch a lot of shows, and to not know where I was in any of them would just be terrible.
Fate worse than death. Fate worse than death. Last thing, this is an email letter from Richard Friedman. He says that he and his partner have been enjoying using HomePod minis and HomePods throughout the house to control the lights. His wife says she likes controlling the lights and TVs throughout the house with HomePod. You've won, man. Richard, you did it. Your wife enjoys controlling things with a HomePod. That's the dream for us HomeKiteer guys out here. But and ladies, if you're a HomeKiteer lady out there, please reach out and let us know. We have you can't get demographics on podcast listeners. I want to know if there's any HomeKiteer ladies trying to convince their partner or spouse to use HomeKit, some smart home stuff. I'd be very, very curious. But Richard was asking about a surround sound system. He really wants something like a 5.1 surround sound. He feels like with all the HomePods that are available, you should be able to do this. Why doesn't Apple do something like this? Apple's answer is a pair of HomePods with an Apple TV, and you get Dolby Atmos, which is like, virtual surround sound. I don't know if Apple would ever do put 3 HomePods in the front, left, center, right, 2 HomePod minis in the back for rears, get another HomePod for the sub, and you got a system. I don't think Apple's going to do that. I would like for them to do a soundbar a la Sonos and say, here is the soundbar for home theater. Get a pair of HomePods for the back, like you would with a Sonos home theater system, and then you can actually have a better virtual surround experience. But I don't know. I think Apple's answer is just a pair of HomePods. Yeah.
I do wish there was an actual Apple soundbar that baked in the Apple TV. That would be wonderful. But I'm not sure. So I'd responded back to Richard. I don't think Richard was originally aware that you could use HomePods for your Apple TV. So he has put his into a stereo pair, but he's like, I would just love to use 5.1 for live sports and movies. Apple, you can, when you pair your full-size HomePods, you can get 5.1, 7.1, and Dolby Atmos out of your HomePods. So, of course, you're only 2 physical points, but they are able to emulate or recreate 5.1, 7.1, and Atmos 3D surround sound with just those two speakers. I will say, and I don't know if you know the answer off the top of your head, Steven, can the minis do spatial with Apple TV, or is it just the full-size HomePods? I think it's just the full-size, right? Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's the limitation there. He says he has a lot of HomePod minis around, so he might need to invest in a pair of full-size HomePods to get that spatial audio going on.
Which I think he said he has the OG. You can use a pair of OG HomePods in the home theater setup with Apple TV. So you don't have to get the new HomePods. You can use the big OGs, and you might like that.
There we go.
That sound good. All right, final update. Not on tvOS.
That's 16.
That's 16. I just want listen. I've done everything I can. I'm calling it. I'll just have to wait for the public release. I just can't.
Okay.
Can't do it anymore.
Hold on. The last thing. Have you factory reset the Apple TV?
No, I don't want to factory reset it, man.
Dude, have you done it on an Apple TV? It is not a big deal because I have, I upgrade my TVs every time, and when you pop it on, it literally downloads your apps, it puts in your iCloud stuff, it does everything for you other than signing you into some of the applications. So it's pretty minimal. Like, your up next queue is all carried over, like, everything is brought over. And half the time I have to sign into these apps anyway. Bally Sports, I am looking at you, you piece of app. You, every single time I go to watch Guardians game, literally like every day, like, oh, you gotta sign in. You should head to this URL and put in this code, and then maybe we'll let you watch it. Like, every single time. And it's
sounded like Bane.
Obnoxious. Oh my god, it is the worst.
You merely adopted the Apple TV. I was born in it. All right. Well, I'm literally, look, there's proof. I'm literally factory resetting my Apple TV as we close the show. I will once again try to update it for next episode. Listeners, let us know. Just reach out. Let us know. Any HomeKit ladies out there, we want to hear from you. Mastodon or Twitter. All those links are in the show notes. And we'll continue the Apple TV saga next week. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
See y'all.